What the hell? There we go. Let's start again. Hey, everybody. Whoops. I like that music. It's a little loud. I like the music. There we go. Start again. Oh, where's that coming from? Hey, everybody. Whoops. I like that music. It's a little loud.
So like what's happening that we're getting? Oh, for God's
There
sake!
we go. Start again.
Where am I
Where's that
broadcasting to?
coming from?
I don't know it.
Whoops.
Is it?
I like that music. It's a little loud.
It is Instagram. Hey, CZ, welcome back. Sorry if our technical issues caused a little bit of a headache, but apparently I have Instagram playing on the side so I can see when some special people that check in through Instagram. You can do so too if you want to. Yergz, Yergz, 2 Z's on that. And you can get the feed on Instagram. Honestly, there's better video feeds to get, one of which is now Yergz.com through our Twitch channel. And my God, I've got like 20 text messages. Who's trying to reach out to me? Oh, I got GoDaddy products that are expiring tomorrow. Oh my God. And now Annex sent pics of our late dog, Moby, with this one, Matrix, as a puppy. Oh. That's other stuff that I knew was coming. So today, this is going to be rejuvenation, and it looks like it's dying already. Sadly, I'm sorry about that. I was on a call after my show. Thanks to those of you who joined up the middle today. What we're doing is revamping a show that we've had at Yergz Radio. And today I'm probably going to be just kind of mumbling through it to really make sure that everything's working. But we're revamping a show that we did at Yergz Radio where I got up early and every hour I would update various feeds from news services like Associated Press, National Public Radio, Reuters, Daily Crypto News, a bunch. And it would be updated hourly. Well, that got to be way too much. But there's some that are kind of, on some levels, evergreen-ish, in that they'll last all day until we get to later in the day and can do a little bit more and do another round, et cetera, et cetera. Telling you all that because in the process of all this, recently, we've exchanged, as I said during Up the Middle earlier today, we've exchanged some emails with the team at Radio X and realized an opportunity. We can help them with putting one more show that would follow Sportcat, as we're doing right now. On in Australia. And that's what we're going to do. It is, and this is a really good time to go do through my usual thing of giving you the times because it's morning over there. Now let's go through the times here. We'll do a little bit more formal type stuff tomorrow and throughout the rest of the week and moving forward. But right now it's 3:05 p.m. here in Tampa, 12:05 in Las Vegas, 8:05 p.m. in London, where we're trying to get on a second station in London, by the way. 21:06 in Berlin, 22:06 in Tel Aviv, 21:06 in Gaza, 22:06 in, I got to move Gaza up if I can. I don't even know if I can adjust them. Yeah, look at that. Because I guess they do not leap ahead. So 21:06 in Berlin, 21:06 in Gaza, 22:06 in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, 2206 in Kyiv, 2206 in Moscow, 3:06 a.m. in Perth, Australia, the home of RadioX AU, available at radiox.com.au, and 6:06 a.m. Melbourne and Sydney. Welcome, everybody. This is Mastiff.Media magazine. Let me see. There it is. No. What can I put up with me? I want to put it up. Damn it. This is what was on before. It's kind of irrelevant because it's really not what we're going to go with. We'll do something a little better. But I like the antenna because that antenna is something we use throughout Yergz Radio. Of course, the coin there that's in the center of the antenna is the Mastiff.Media coin. And then various logos from assorted news sources that are around the perimeter there. I want to put this up too. The Mastiff.Media logo as a watermark in the corner. Of course, I have no idea where I ever keep this stuff. There we go. Hopefully that'll be as a transfer. Yes, nice, lovely. There we go. Mastiff.Media up there in the corner. Welcome, everybody. You're listening to Radio X, Yergz Radio, Rainbow Radio. You're watching on, let's see, who does it for this? All my social medias, Yergz.com, Twitch, YouTube, yeah, Facebook, Talk TV 24 on YouTube, my public page, Ross Yerger on Facebook. We're using Up the Middle radio show for this today. I should probably use one of the other because this isn't Up the Middle. We're using my personal Facebook account today. I do that sometimes because I've got a lot of followers. And this just gets to a bigger exposure. I don't use my personal account most of the time, just occasionally for events like this. Today, bringing on DNR Studios, bringing on Radio X. Tomorrow, we will be again on K-Shop for the first time on Tuesday. We've been on Tuesdays before. That was just to cover some other scheduling snafus. Tomorrow, Yergz Radio, or tomorrow Up the Middle, will be on K-Shop starting every Tuesday tomorrow. And of course, Twitch, which is what we use to feed to Yergz.com. D-Live, I love that. It's kind of an unknown, but been a big help in getting us some exposure. Instagram, what I love about Instagram is that when I go live on Instagram, all my Instagram followers know it. They get it. They get an update on that. And then Rumble. We're also on Rumble. So that's all of them. What this is going to be, don't forget to fight fascism. There it is. I said it. I was having a hell of a time with that earlier today. Fight fascism. There we go. There we go. Also, hashtag free speech. Did I mispronounce hash just now? Hashtag free speech. There we go. Free press. We got to put that on for today's show and every Mastiff.Media magazine. Let's go through some of the big news stories right now. Fake news. I'll put the dashboard up here. Kash Patel fact checks CNN. I doubt it. I mean, if this is clickbait, if this is bullcrap, let's see, what do I want to? Yeah, I can say if this is bullshit, then kudos to you because you made me click. KNews.com is reporting that FBI Director Kash Patel firmly denied a CNN report that claimed he plans to cut personnel at the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives. How? It's not his agency. The report stated that he intended to transfer up to 1,000 ATF agents to the FBI and reduce the ATF workforce by over 1/3. Patel sent a memo to ATF employees asserting that CNN's information was inaccurate, that operational command rests with FBI leadership, not the media. Okay, but just because they're in justice doesn't mean that is they're not. That would be what's her name, Bondi, who's useless. Let's see. So I'm not going to include, if you were with us earlier, I said that I have more experience than Pete Hegseth, Pam Bondi, and Dan Bongino combined in dealing with classified information. I'd looked that up during the course of the break during Sportcat's show while I was making lunch for the dogs and me and before my 2:00 call. That is true. You can take the experienced military and the couple of weeks of Pete Hegseth. You can take the couple of weeks of Pam Bondi, because she doesn't deal with classified information as a state attorney general. Regardless of how cool Ron DeSantis wants to make that out to be, it's not. And Danny Boy left after what, 10 years? Maybe. I've got twice that alone. So those three added together, here's a little bitch that needs to be spanked. Spoiled little rich girl is what she reminds me of. I can't say that's what she is, because God forbid I voice an opinion. YouTube. Let's take a look at this.
Guide that DHS is using to determine who is an enemy alien, a Trinidad member, and deportable under the Enemy Aliens Act. It has criteria here that require 8 points to be classified as a TDA member. You can get classified by simply having certain symbols in your tattoos and wearing certain streetwear brands. That alone is enough to get someone classified as TDA and sent to El Salvador.
That's not true, actually, Andrew.
According to this document, it is.
No, according to the Department of Homeland Security and the agents, have you talked to the agents who have been putting their lives on the line to detain these foreign terrorists who have been terrorizing our communities?
Okay, you
TDA
don't know
is
that.
a vicious gang that has taken the lives of American women. And
You don't know that. That's called due process, Caroline, and you are denying these people due process. Just because they have artwork on their body, giving a freedom of expression and a First Amendment right, doesn't make them a terrorist. And I love the way she tries to articulate, has been terrorizing our neighborhoods. Oh my God, I'm just going to be such a great mommy someday because I don't let anybody terrorize my neighborhood. How do you vote for these people? What is happening?
our agents on the front lines take...
Listen, sweetheart, I was one of those agents on the front lines. Believe me, there are more dangerous people for us to be going after.
Deporting these people with the utmost seriousness, and there is a
Yeah, that's the problem. You're deporting them with the utmost serious and no due process. You have sent them to prison without a trial. That's not against that word that you can't spell. It's called Constitution. The only constitution you have is when you sit down and do a duty. And I'm not talking about serving your country.
Litany of criteria that they use to ensure that these individuals.
Litany of criteria. Brown skin. Check. Throw them out.
Qualify as foreign terrorists and to ensure that they qualify for deportation. And the president made it incredibly clear to the American public that there would be a mass deportation campaign.
Yeah. He never said it was going to be legal either. And now I was on some other radio show during my break on a station I'm trying to get on. I might be needing to think about that a second time. But anyway, the guy was saying about how judges have no right to check the president. Can you even spell Constitution? Meanwhile, that's exactly what their job is. Oh, this is painful. And I voted for Kamala. No, she was not my first choice. She was not my third or fourth choice, but she's any choice higher than this bitch. Sorry for those of you in the east coast of Australia who are waking up to my American flag in the background. Can I get an Australian flag? Because we're waking them up, not us. We're already wrapping up our day here. And I can do a different background too. I don't know what other backgrounds I have. Here, maybe we can sit in the studio. Well, I mean, that doesn't really do any good when I get all this stuff over the top of it, but customize, maybe like that. There we go. I don't know if that's really all that much better, but this is, I don't get it. What is the appeal? So she has tits. Is that what your appeal is? Guys? Lesbians? Is that why you like this psycho? Jesus. This chick has the education of a third grader. Sorry, I'm just... We're actually still on our Discord server, too. So that's cool. But yet I don't know what they're thinking or what they were thinking when... what were you thinking? Yeah, you. The one listening right now that supports the Joker that lives up that driveway. What were you thinking? Tell me how you thought this was going to be a good idea. Can I turn it that way? I can. I'm checking everything out, how everything looks. And yeah, good. I'm stupefied by what's happening in our country right now. Australia, UK, anybody that's voting anytime soon, just don't vote right wing right now. Just don't. Because this is what you're going to get. This is not good. I know a lot of you don't like libtards and all that. I don't like far left either. But you know what I'm going to be able to do? What I would have been able to do in 2028, at the end of the first term of Kamala Harris, evaluate and vote for her again or vote for somebody else. We cannot say that's going to happen right now. This guy wants a third term. He doesn't get one. There's all kinds of asinine theories that say, well, actually, yes, he can. No, you can't. Stop wishing. Stop legitimizing. And stop twisting. He's already got shitty popularity, approval rating, which is all it is. If an approval rating was an actual evaluation of performance, it would have never been high in the first place. He never would have gotten reelected. But now here we are, because my Cuban American neighbors can't vote for a woman because they don't have a big enough set of balls. That's what they said. They could not vote for Kamala Harris because she was a woman. Now we got this psycho pretending to be a press secretary. Oh, I guess I'll play the rest. Why not? What could happen? 41 more seconds.
Of not just foreign terrorists, but also illegal criminal aliens who have been wreaking havoc on American communities. And shame on you and shame on the mainstream media for trying to cover for these individuals.
Shame on you. Shame on you, mainstream media, for doing your job and holding this psychotic bitch to her. Oh, I just want to cry.
This is a vicious gang, Andrew. This is a vicious gang that has taken the lives of American women.
That doesn't mean he's done it. And even if he has, you're lowering yourself to his level by denying due process. And that's where these journalists are failing. This is an obvious constitutional issue that's not being addressed. They're talking about goddamn tattoos.
The government filed in court, which says all.
And you said yourself there are 8 criteria on that document.
They need 8 points.
And you are questioning the credibility of these agents who are.
Yes, we are. Because they're right-wing nut jobs that think Trump. I got them at work, my own job. I know of people that I used to work with in LA who I thought were squared away people that got Donald Trump as their emoji or as their profile pic on their government accounts. That's illegal. That is a violation of the Hatch Act. The same thing that the same regime, are you hearing me, YouTube? Regime investigated me for back in 2017. Oh, 13 more seconds.
We're putting their life on the line to protect your life and the life.
Oh, stop. Are you sure you're not a gay man? I know the biggest drama queens on RuPaul's Drag Race that aren't the queen you are. I will watch that show. That's how obvious it is. I couldn't go 3 seconds without stopping it again. Oh, here's 10 more. Let's see if I can do it.
Life of everybody in this group and everybody across the country. And their credibility should be questioned. They finally have a president who is allowing them to do their jobs, and God.
Oh, here it comes. Are you ready? I'm going to back this up so we get to hear all of it. Does it let me? Yeah, here we go. Ready? Here it comes. God bless Donald Trump. See Kyle.
Is allowing them to do their jobs, and God bless them for doing it.
Caroline.
Oh, this is painful. U.S. armored vehicle pulled out of Lithuanian swamp. Why was an armored vehicle that weighs an undisclosed amount of weight driving through a swamp? And at what point did we maybe think this could be a possibly bad idea? Is this how these guys died? This isn't the first time, by the way, that she said shame on the reporters and what have you. Venezuelan president calls Marco Rubicile. That's his name, Marco Rubicile. Oh, I could do this all day. John Roberts about to be eaten by the mega monster he made. Hey, what is that? I saw this before. True meaning behind Caroline Leavitt's nickname as White House press secretary clashes with reporters yet again. Another one that says Caroline Leavitt prepares to make major change to press briefings. She's not going to have any. Did you see this? Oh, this I actually laughed out loud. Peter Navarro, fresh out of prison for contempt of Congress, faces bipartisan wrath over exceptionally stupid, a quote of somebody, I don't know who that is, we'll look into it, claim that tariffs are tax cuts. He actually said that on the news here. This is what's happening on the news. That's why you need to watch me, because at least I might pretend to be intelligent. Oh my God, what is happening? I know what background I'm going to use for the news hour. I just got to find it. It's actually one from a studio, which would be pretty cool. God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let's see. Overlays and video, maybe. Yergz Radio. Backgrounds. Yeah. From inside a radio station at Yergz Radio. Mastiff.Media News. Oh, but I want to look like I'm sitting in that chair. But that's cool, though. Let me get rid of the whole thing. Oh, could you hear me at all? Let me know in the chat if you could hear me. If there's even anybody here. I know you're not expecting this today. So I'm guessing there's nobody. All right. Let's be serious now. I've had some fun. I do want to know what major changes she's making in the what major changes she's making in the thingy. That's the snapping at the reporter. Cliff's notes. Yeah, show notes will be available by writing us news, NEWZ, at Yergz, YERGZ.com until we get a spot where I can put them on Yergz.com or Mastiff.Media. I don't know where it's going to be yet. But let's take a look at this one. I want to know what these major changes are. And, we'll get to the Social Security is a big thing too. I want to see that. Caroline Leavitt prepares to make major change to press briefings. The White House is preparing to take control of its briefing room seating chart. Oh, I heard this. Yeah, this already got shot down. The White House is preparing to take control of its briefing room seating chart in a brazen power play that could upend decades of precedent and anger the liberal media. No. Anger anybody with a set of balls or tits is what this would do. At the center of storm is Caroline Leavitt, the 27-year-old White House press secretary and rising conservative firebrand who finds herself poised to deliver the decisive blow. No, this is, honey, stop. This is, get over yourself. This is not a decisive blow. And this was already shot down. Where did I see it? WACA has said, no, we're not touching this. WACA is the White House Communications Agency. It's the military wing of communications in the White House. They do radios, tech, and press briefings. And Newsmax jumps 560%, and there's a picture of Matt Gaetz. That's funny. I'm just looking at some of these other headlines that are floating through and seeing if there's anything that's even really all that worthy of checking in on here. Let me see something here. White House Communications Agency. Yeah, here it is. This is it. I saw this earlier. This, according to Politico. And then Axios says that they're going to take charge of it, but I don't think so. This is, let's see, what's this dated? Today. Right as we were coming off the air, too. WACA is how we pronounce that. It stands for White House Communications Agency. Rejects Trump's administration's plan to take over briefing room seating chart. The White House Correspondents Associations. That's the other WACA. So White House Communications Agency, WACA, is who I spent my whole career getting my radio coded by. Apparently, newbie journalist here. It's also the White House Correspondents Association, who would also have a beef in this. Okay, that makes so much more sense. Because I know WACA, as I know them, is a part of this, but not to the level that the White House Correspondents Association would be. Makes a lot more sense. Okay, WACA, White House Correspondents Association, on Monday, pushed back against the White House plans to exert control over the briefing room seating assignments for journalists. In an email to members, the association, which is made up of an independent group of journalists covering the Trump administration, said it was aware of the reported efforts from the White House to take over briefing room's organizational chart. The seating has long been set by WACA. It's something called freedom of press. If the White House pushes forward, it will become even more clear that the administration is seeking to cynically seize control of the system through which independent press organizes itself, so that it is easier to exact punishment on outlets over their coverage, the board wrote. A report from Axios over the weekend, which we'll review in a minute, which Politico independently confirmed, now we no longer have to review in a minute, stated that the White House press operation is planning to impose its own seating chart and comes from amid a tense standoff between the White House and the White House Correspondents Agency. I keep wanting to say the other one. Politico also is assigned to one of the seats in the press briefing. Last month, the White House Correspondents Agency announced it would cede control of the White House press pool. The rotating cast of reporters assigned to cover the president after the White House took several actions to control media access. And on Saturday, the White House Correspondents Agency canceled comedian Amber Ruffin's planned performance at the annual White House Correspondents Association dinner in April after it received criticism from the Trump administration. He did not go to that dinner for 4 years during 1.0. And you people don't think that this is a violation of the First Amendment? It's multiple violations. Not only press, but in the First Amendment is also the right to gather peacefully. You think that's not being impeded upon at the association's dinner, where they give out thousands and thousands of dollars to each individual student in grants and awards to go to college? This comes as the White House in recent weeks also kicked Huffington Post from the press pool, while Bloomberg and Reuters are now sharing a wire spot. Trump has personally moved to bar outlets in recent months, most notably the Associated Press, from events over using language the administration disagrees with, including AP's refusal to use Gulf of America instead of what it really is, called the Gulf of Mexico. And I know Sportcat calls it Gulf of America. Sportcat's also from rural Virginia and Atlanta. Do the math. The reason the White House wants control of the briefing room is the same reason they took control of the pool: to exert pressure on journalists over coverage they disagree with. This was explicit with the Associated Press, where the president and his staff plainly said their removal from covering presidential events was punishment for their style guide. The White House did not respond to a request for comment. Shocker. The board said the notion of White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt presiding over White House Correspondents Agency negotiating access with the administration is ridiculous. The White House picked this fight and continues to do so. The board continued, "Our members want to cover the administration without fear or favor and stand ready to question government officials from any corner of the Brady briefing room." The room that they're in is called the Brady briefing room because Reagan press secretary James Brady was one of the collateral damage casualties during John Hinckley's attempt on Reagan's life back in March of 1981. In fact, the anniversary to that was Sunday, this past Sunday. March 30th, 1981 was the day of the assassination. March 30th, 2001, exactly 20 years later, was the day I graduated from the Secret Service Academy. The White House White House Correspondents Association reached out to the White House on Sunday, requesting a conversation about the reported plans, according to the email. Filed under the White House, Associated Press, and Donald Trump. And some others here probably, yeah. White House Correspondents Association dinner and press media. It's allergy season and my eyes are watering badly. Yeah, gang, this is not okay. And if it doesn't scare you as an Australian, if it doesn't scare you as a citizen of British or UK citizenry, Canadian, shame on you. Because this is an issue. It doesn't stop here. Look at Russia and answer this question to yourself. I'm even stuttering. That's how pissed off I am right now. Answer this question to yourself. Did Russia stop at the Crimean Peninsula? No? Really? They didn't? But they're going to stop now, right? Yeah. Do you think seriously that an egomaniac like Donald Jessica Trump is going to stop with just bringing in or just kicking out Associated Press members? Didn't he bring in Benny Johnson or something like that? I'm going to spill my coffee. Well, we got a similar story. I typed in, is Benny Johnson now with the White House press poll? Well, press poll, it'll assume we're talking about. And all it says is what we already knew. Influencer paid by Russia added to White House press poll. Right-wing influencer who was paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to spread Russian propaganda during the 2024 presidential election. Oh, he is? Oh, my God. His own father, this guy's called Timcast, Tim Pool. His own father disowned him. Because he sits in that's, I guess, his parents' basement that he painted. And he does this conservative Timcast. On Friday, here it is. It wasn't Benny Johnson, but just as pathetic. On Friday, someone from Tim Pool's Timcast YouTube channel will be part of the press pool covering President Donald Trump, said Will Sommer, a journalist with The Bulwark, in a social media post on X. Post on Twitter. Sorry, I lost my place. And for those of you also just joining, I do not call it by that name. It's Twitter. The decision comes after the White House stripped the Washington, D.C. press corps of its authority to decide who among its correspondents will be part of the daily rotation of reporters assigned to follow the president. That opened the door for the White House to bring in sympathetic podcasters and influencers, even as it has banned the Associated Press from participating in the poll or traveling with Air Force One. Get me on that. I'll get on Air Force One. I'm going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about some Australia news. That's right. Going to cover our friends down under. Only seems right. They're covering us. So let them start their day with some news throughout Australia, right here on Radio X, Yergz Radio, and the rest of the Mastiff.Media network. We'll be back right after this. Oops, hold on. Still learning my way around my own dashboard. What are you doing later? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to the gym, but not just any gym. Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Walk right up to the door. There's a QR code on the door. You can sign up right there. You've got no excuse. But not only that, their equipment is amazing. It's kept up well. It's expanded. There's stretching area. There's CrossFit. There's hardcore training, a dedicated area for stretching, dunk tanks, sauna, everything you need to get that Hernando beach body or keep your Clearwater beach body. You can train with your shirt off, you can scream, you can yell, and you won't be intimidated either. Go to Momentum Fitness and Wellness on US 19 in Bayonet Point, Jasmine Estates. Build the momentum at Momentum Fitness. Love this music. Mastiff.Media. Mastiff.Media is selling ad spots for all of our shows. Unless, of course, Sportcats, who sells his own. But anything else that we do live or have recorded versions of. For just $1,500 a month, you'll get everything. It's a special thing we're doing right now, not only to fill obvious spots, but get our name out there. We're now on Derek and Romain's station, DNR Studios. You'll hear it in Australia on Radio X. You'll hear it in the UK on UG Media. You'll hear it all over the US on terrestrial, internet, and soon to be shortwave radio.
So even if it's not you, if you think your company, whether it's local, regional, or national, or international, especially international, get that email address that's at the corner of the screen. Newz, Newz, at Yergz.com. Send us an email. We check our junk folder. We check. We will get you. Set up a meeting, and we'll get you on our websites, sites, plural, websites, social media accounts. We're even doing space on our vertical TikTok and YouTube short, or verticals. The top or the bottom of that middle, or of the upper or lower third, your logo, your company's logo. As they sit and listen to me bitch. All right. I typed in Australian news outlets before. It didn't end well. So let's bring down the music and bring back. See who's listening in the chat. Sport Cat, you just finished with him. He's still hanging out. He's a glutton for punishment. Welcome, pal. I just want to let you know that I live on the Gulf of Mexico. Thought I'd shoot that at you. Yes, Ken is correct. We've only been here for the past 45 minutes, but he said that a little bit ago. Yes, we're back again today, and now every day, with Mastiff.Media magazine. It'll probably be like a pre-recorded thing because I'm just doing kind of like an intro today. But we'll see, what it's like. Maybe it'll be me. I don't know. Maybe Glenn and I, Sportcat and I, will do. He called me Yergz Ross and said, and now he's got me doing it. Sportcat and I, maybe, we'll do. I definitely want to do a handoff, and I got a way where we can do that and not screw up our own individual broadcasts. But he needs 10 minutes to go over it and the time to be able to do it, because his life in Knoxville is kind of sucking right now. And I got to be, I just kicked something. I got to be, understanding of that. Music sound, yes, I like that. It's tactical. It's called epic, is the style of music according to Restream. And we got one more, I think, here. If you'd stop working from home and start working for us, I don't know, Ken, maybe it could be Yergz and Ken. We'll see. You got a voice for it. And we both got a face for radio, too. All right, according to The Guardian, we got an election coming up here. Australia election 2025. Albanese to announce Adelaide Healthcare Centre funding. Dutton pledges Melbourne Airport rail cash. Anthony Albanese and Peter Dutton are back on the campaign trail today, with Labour boosted by the latest polling. Listen to me, Australians. Listen to me. And I'm really speaking to those of you in Australia that fancy yourselves any level of conservative. Do not go with this MAGA guy that you guys got. I spent my life being impartial. Yeah, I do love Sportcat. I do. But he's a conservative. Who do you expect him to support? What's he saying about the golf now? I'll come visit you soon in the Gulf of America, and we can play disc golf. Yeah, he's a big disc golfer. I don't even know what the hell that is. But I guess you throw a frisbee at a fishing net or something. I don't know. But there's like professional disc golf discs that aren't like your basic whammo frisbee. Here is why I say to support anybody but the uber conservative. And I forget who this guy is. We did a story on him before. Brian from Radio X gave me a link about the guy, and instead of going through my I can't spell or type. Oh, Jesus, there's another one. A female Donald Trump. How Gina Reinhardt. Oh, boy. Oh, she looks like a MAGA. Ugh. Yuck. How Gina Reinhardt is pushing the MAGA message in Australia. Her name's Gina. How Gina Reinhardt. Do not support this woman. Do not support this woman. This isn't who I was thinking of, which makes matters even worse because there was some other fat guy that looks like Trump with white hair. Oh, look at that. Oh, do you see that? Do you see that photo? And I'll make sure that there's a link available to all of you. Trumpet Tony Holt Kramer with Gina Reinhardt. Those two ladies right there, that's why I'm gay. That's why I'm gay right there. Ugh. Yuck. Here, okay, now back to seriousness, gang. Listen to me. Listen to me. I'm never going to tell you who to vote for. I won't. That's your job. On Up the Middle, we do teach you how to fact check. And that's another reason why today's show is very sporadic. Because when we do a story, whether it's pre-recorded from another network or however, we like to make sure that there's some credibility behind it. We don't have that today. Brian and I planned this late last night, my time. And if I wouldn't have had to call it to, I would have been able to put the recordings together to do what tomorrow's show will be much more like. But here's what you don't want. This psychotic bitch gets whoever it is that she's supporting. Maybe it's herself. I don't know. I don't care. Do not let them get anywhere near Canberra. Did you hear that, Australians? I just, off the top of my head, named the capital of your country. Because that's what you can do when you have a brain. That is what you can do when you have the capability to do your own research, think critically, and as a result, think for yourself. I'm actually bringing up the Radio X website because I want to plug what's coming next. Oh, I don't know what it is because, this on-air thing that they do, it's not a schedule. It's like a collage of all their shows. They don't list like an actual schedule. What if it in the live part, does it say who's coming next? No. But I think it's in 4 minutes. And I wanted to plug that. but I'm not sure, what it is. Because see, look, I looked at this the other day, and I'm like, well, how in the hell? I'm not going to go through each and every one of these and try and figure out who's what. This is me. Oh, that's me. That's the usual show that we got on here. And I hope they add, because I got to do some artwork of some sort, but I hope they add us on a long-term gig following Sportcat. There's Sportcat's Daily Gazette. It's something morning. I don't see anything on air with Scott and Jai. I don't know what it is. He told me it's like the morning show that he's a part of. Scott Browning. Was I calling him Brian earlier? God, I wouldn't know my own name if I didn't have an ID. I think I was calling him Brian all day. Oh, I'm going to go make a cocktail. But Scott is up next in just a couple of minutes. I think it's now. Let's go through the times once again. It's 3:58 p.m. here, 12:58 in Vegas, 8:58 p.m. in London, 21:58 in Berlin, Gaza, Tel Aviv. It's 22:58, as well as Jerusalem, Kyiv, and Moscow. It's almost 4 p.m. in Perth. 4 a.m. in Perth. It's almost 7 a.m. in Melbourne and Sydney. So that's going to do it for me. I will be back tomorrow on some fashion, and hopefully also on Radio X. If I didn't piss off Brian too much by not calling him Scott like I should have. What are you bitching at? I didn't get your name wrong. That's Matrix. All right, gang. Let us know. Not in the comments, because that's going to go away as soon as I shut this down. But email us, Newz, Newz, at Yergz.com. If you're down under and you've got your favorite news source. Very happy to take a look at it. We'll put it on the I forget who does it. There's a media chart, a media bias chart that these professionals look at, and they evaluate stories, people, the agency itself, and they put them on this chart: left, right, reliable, opinionated, bullshit, whatever. So let us know what your favorite is. We'll consider it, but it's got to meet our standards of valued news source. Scott Browning's up next. We'll see you again tomorrow.